What's up, everybody? We're back here doing some Rimworld. We kind of got derailed in our last attempt to do this. Um, I went through, I set everything up, talked a little bit about what we were going through, described our memes, our mods, our ideology, and all that, and then my power went out. So I'll kind of try to walk you through it again. You can see we're using ideology, royalty, biotech, and Odyssey. We do not have anomaly enabled. We have a small base built with a stockpile. We have a stockpile for outdoor things that can sit outdoors, and we have a stockpile for dumping corpses and things like that. This is about 6 in the morning on the second day. We had an autosave for this, so we didn't have to go through all the painstaking stuff of setting it up, but basically we're doing the Rich Explorer start, and the only things that really alter the game that much that we have, as far as mods go, we have hospitality turned on so that we can have guests. Eventually we can build guest beds and build like a little guest resort type thing. We have animals are fun, and we have a lot of things for animals like animal armor and animal bionic implants and stuff enabled and modded in so that we can, I usually focus on animals a lot of my runs. And the major thing, the controversial thing is I turn filth off because it's not fun for me. It's just, I like everything to look nice and pretty, and if I don't turn filth off because of my animals and people, my whole base is just covered in dirt and blood and piss and shit and vomit and filth the whole time. It looks terrible and it robs me of a lot of the fun. I've tried to do things where I mod things like doormats to reduce filth, and even when you have a dedicated person to clean your base, it just looks like somebody took a shit all over it all the time. So I mod out the filth. Yep. Other than that, we're on Randy Random is our storyteller, and we're on Strive to Survive, I believe, is our difficulty. When I look at my hierarchies, I see for my work priorities, everything's set up kind of the way that I want it to already. The schedule for, we work throughout the day and then take rest in the middle of the day, that's fine for right now. One thing that I need to get my guy going on is food. I'm going to turn on the fertility overlay. I'm going to draw this rice here 6x6, and then you got to click the zone and you got to make sure you change it to rice so that he'll grow it. I'm also going to start a second zone right here for corn. Corn takes a long time to grow, but it has a very high yield, and so you'll get a lot out of it once it gets there, and that will allow us to sort of have quick growing food in rice and then long-term growing food for the stockpile in corn. I'm going to make 2 more growing zones. I'm going to make a strip of 6 for smoke leaf, which will give us some recreation, and then I'm going to make a strip of 6 for heal root. We're going to turn off the fertility overlay so the map looks good, and then I'm just checking. So he already has plants at a high enough level where he can make this heal root, and that's great. Everything's moving slowly now, but we're going to turn it into fast forward and just sort of play the game from there. Our first event is rare thrumbos. These are very strong animals, and if you have a high taming skill, you can tame them and make them for caravans or make them to help you in combat, which is usually what I do. I'm going to try to think of the animal things really quickly, but you can see our guy is playing fetch and walking his dog as part of his recreation. So even though we don't have any recreation set up right now, we can see that he's fulfilled a lot of it. So speaking of recreation, you always want to have them to have options. You can go click on this recreation tab. The best thing to do at the start, if you don't know anything else, is to just build a horseshoe pin, and then he's cutting down stuff for the growing zone, but he'll go and build the horseshoe pin. The good thing about horseshoes is when your guys play it for recreation, it does give them a tiny bit of shooting experience. So your shooting will get better. He's still hauling at a high priority, so I'm going to change these both to 3. And I'm just going to make sure he gets down to growing. We want to get these food zones built up as quickly as possible so that we'll have food for the future. But most things start you out with some food. The Rich Explorer gives you 35 package meals to start, so you'll have some time to get your food in order. I just think the sooner the better with this kind of thing. Sheep join, that's kind of a nice cool event, but we don't really have a pen or a way to take care of all these sheeps. We're just gonna release them to the wild. I don't want to fuck with all that right now. It'll take up too much of my time. But that is a fortuitous event. In order to keep some animals like these, alpacas and sheeps, they require a pin. Some animals will just be cool and they'll stay in a zone. Some animals will require that you have a pin or they'll start to wander away. While everybody's asleep, we're just going to go through the map and look around. We got the thrumbos. We got the boomalopes, so we kind of do need a pin for that. We could maybe tame a rhinoceros, help us fight. We have some predators out here. You can see this cheetah killed a chinchilla and was eating it. Predators will attack you and your pets, or whatever's basically closest, if they become too hungry. We can't see his stuff, his needs. But a lot of times for like animals that you own, like our sweet Maymay here, you can go to their needs and you can see they have food and sleep. They don't have as many as like a person. We have food, mood, sleep, recreation, beauty, comfort, all this kind of stuff. But yeah, so we've had a lot of hiccups with our streams today. On the daily TF2 stream, we got the normal amount of time, about an hour and 15 minutes, but the servers crashed. Everybody was having problems with the servers, so we couldn't get into the game. We looked through the store. We saw some cool stuff in the store, taunts that you can buy. We looked through our loadouts. We're mostly just talking about designing games in Unity. I'm trying to teach myself how to do that. I'm trying to have ChatGPT just give me instructions. Yeah, you can see our guy's playing horseshoes here. If we click on him, well, he stopped. But you can go to shooting, and you can watch his experiences at 21, even though we haven't shot the gun a single time yet. He's already got a little bit of XP just for playing horseshoes. Yeah, so mostly we're talking about using ChatGPT to give us instructions, and our guys returning them to the wild. So these animals are just on our map now, but we're not responsible for them. We're not going to get a bunch of messages warning us that they're wandering away or being hunted or whatever. They'll do NPC shit now. Yeah, so we're trying to get ChatGPT to teach us, kind of make a tutorial. See, now our guy doesn't have any work to do. He's idle and wandering around, but he's about to go to bed. If we look at our schedule, he goes to sleep at the 22nd hour, so we're not going to worry too much about giving him a job for right now. We have our food set up, we have our shelter set up, stockpile and all this. Probably the next thing that I'll want to block out is the kitchen, and we're going to try to do, here's one easier thing. I'm going to draw an 11 by 11 square to represent the interior, and then I'm just going to build the walls around it. I'm going to go ahead and put right in the middle a door right there. We'll just keep lots of doors everywhere so it's easy to get in and out of this. I'm going to delete this plan now, but you can see he's going to build this out. We'll let him do that first before we try to figure out where we're going to put the kitchen and the freezer and all that. Probably needs to be on this side though, because our food is over here. So that means they'll carry the food into this side and put it on the shelves and stuff, and then he'll just go right to it and cook it. We want all your stuff to be arranged in a convenient way so that your pawns have to use the least amount of time walking and traveling and delivering items to their relative stockpiles and things. Yeah, so the TF2 stream, the servers crashed, and then I tried to start doing a Rimworld stream just casually for fun, and the power went out right in the middle of it. So we've had kind of a double whammy on this today. You can see over here it's telling us we need defenses and we need a meal source. So we're having more success making our own games. We're going to try to work on it some more tonight. I got to a good stopping point for my map where I had the entire side of one map basically constructed, and then the other side just needs to be a mirror of that, so it should be easier to get it all done once we sit down and start working on it. We're trying to construct a kind of a Dota clone, a League of Legends clone, which you might call a MOBA, which you might call a, I don't know, real-time strategy game, hero-focused, ability-focused, where you're trying to siege the other team's base. That's kind of what we're going for. And we talked about that a lot pretty much in the TF2 stream. Then towards the end of that stream, you know, we sort of got into other things, conspiracies, and very light, no specific ones, but just sort of on the kind of mind control crap that you have to deal with. Oh, look, we have some. Oh, never mind. I thought that was some rare metal. This is an ancient Exostrider midsection that's got a mechanoid transponder. If you want to turn your guy into a mechanator, you need to trash that. Okay, so our guy is idle again. You always want him to be kind of doing something, so one of the things that we're going to have to figure out, we have 30 components. We have a bunch of steel. We're going to need power. So I'm going to construct a wood fire generator right here. It's sort of out of the way. And we'll give him time to go ahead and do that. He's gathering this stuff now, and he's going to walk over and start placing it so that he can build it. But you need power because you have to create a freezer. I don't know. Some people don't do that. But I create a freezer. It keeps your food from spoiling. And then we need power, so we're going to take the hidden conduit. We're going to run it down here and run it up this wall. And then I need to build an electric stove. We're going to haul these things out of the way, and I want him to do it now, so rather than wait for him to get around to it, I'm going to right click it and have him prioritize it. You can hold shift and prioritize the next thing, and he'll do it in a row. So now we've got that out of the way. Those things were blocking us. We need to place a stove. Give it a chair. On this way, because the terrain is orange, it's messing us up. So we're just going to go ahead and put the cooler here for now, with the blue side in and the red side out, so that it pumps cool air in and hot air out. And then the other thing that makes it kind of difficult to work is if you don't have light. So we're going to put a lamp here, and then over the stove, and we're going to let him go and watch him build it all. He stopped because he's walking the dog for his recreation. You can see it says right here he's walking a pet. Yep, and then now he's going to get to working on it. The reason you want to build hidden conduits is because they don't short out like the other conduits do. Like if the other conduits are exposed to the elements, or if they get wet, they can short out and cause a fire. Hidden conduits never do that, so just go ahead and spend the extra metal and make a hidden conduit. Kind of down on pop culture. I've sort of checked out of it. I don't really want to be a part of the modern crap that's going on, so We've moved into some other things, but there are always the classics that you can go back to. Trying to think of some of the greater classics or some good movie talk. I find myself going back to a lot of things made from the 70s. I was a kid who grew up in the 80s and 90s. So I just, in my opinion, I got to be around for some of the best entertainment ever created, and that it's kind of suffered and gone downhill since. But nevertheless, there's still a lot of good things out there that you can pick up and enjoy and still get these old blasts from the past. Each era kind of has its own feel to it, you know, depending on how the culture was at that time. And the 70s is definitely a great one for like crime and neo-noir and thrillers. Anything that's kind of psychological, you know. I can't remember if Chinatown was the 80s or not, but I always think of it as like a 70s style movie because of Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson was kind of at his heyday in the 70s, and he made a lot of great movies during that time. He had a cameo in Easy Rider. I'm not too crazy about Easy Rider as a film. I think it's very shallow, and it's more style over substance. It's kind of like a movie that fucking drug addicts might think is really deep, but it's kind of not. It's fine. It's okay. I would recommend seeing it, you know. Ooh, we got seasonal flooding. Well, the river's going to get bigger, and we also had a notification we have a transport crash. A geologist named Chung is crashing. This is Chung. Chung is a 47-year-old male. He's going to die in 7 hours if we don't rescue him. He's scratched, cracked, and got a gunshot. He has mining 13. He's chemical interested in iron-willed. So this would be awesome if we could save him and have him join, but we probably won't. In order to rescue somebody, because our situation is so meager right now. In order to rescue somebody, you need a place for them to sleep. We only have one spot to put them right now. So what we're going to do is go to furniture and put a sleeping spot on the ground. Here's what we're going to do. I'll deconstruct that really quick. It doesn't cost anything to deconstruct it. Put a sleeping spot on the ground right here, and then I'm going to build a bed right there just so I can transfer him to it once we get it built. But for now, we'll just right click and rescue Chung and unclick or unpause so that he'll go through it. We can watch him grab Chung, take him to the spot we designated, and then he's going to start working on him. We don't have any herbal medicine. We only have Glitterworld medicine. We're not going to use all that on this poor bastard. But our guy will start tending to him without medicine. And it'll stop him from dying. Depending on how he feels, he may or may not join us at the end. But for now, we're just going to be a good dude and rescue him and not worry about that. He would be a good colonist to have. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to rescue Chung again, so it just puts him in a bed. He's a little bit better than sleeping on the ground. Now we have power, because we filled up the wood-fired generator. So that's kind of the basic things we need to do to set up. It's 91 degrees outdoors, and Chung has an air conditioner, so it's 70 in here, but it's like 93 in our room. So what we'll probably do now is reinstall this bed in the same room. Right click our guy and make sure he prioritizes on working on it. Now our bed is in here too. We can sleep in the comfortable room instead of being in the 93 degree heat. We're going to copy the sleeping spot, and I'm going to set the owner to Maymay, and then delete this and expand the zone out so that we have a full stock room. Let's go ahead and build. We need to chop some trees. We don't have any wood left in our stockpile, but we're on a jungle map, so we have tons of trees. They'll regrow constantly. What I'm going to do is select chop wood, from our orders. And then I'm going to go down here to all the wood that's close to the stockpile zone already, and I'm just going to have him start chopping it. That way he won't have to carry it all that far when he hauls it to right here. So, old movies I've really gotten into. I really like them. Chung joins. So, this is kind of awkward because he's not our religion. He's this open creed. Diversity of thoughts, exalted, free love is physical love is free and approved. Individualist, this is not too bad. This doesn't conflict with a lot of our memes or anything, but we just want to be careful. The Lane Nonpartisan Alliance is what Chung wants to name this place. And the settlement is, that's hard to say. Fun Town. Wow, okay, we're keeping it. Yeah, so that's convenient. We've got Chung as a colonist now. We're going to copy our work schedule and put it to him. And then we're going to set all of his priorities correctly. He can't doctor, so we'll leave that off. Set his bed rest to 1. The only reason I leave bed rest at 2 for my doctor or my main character is so that they won't get in bed and sleep instead of doing operations on people and stuff. Chung has a very good mining skill, so we're going to put his mining at a 1. We'll put his hauling at a 2. He's decent at art. He's really good at art, and it's not a bad idea to get some crafting set up either. Let's see. Old Chung is still in rough shape. 62% consciousness, 36% moving. Sometimes in a temperate forest, medicine will grow wild on the map, but not in the jungle, so for now, he's just going to have to heal up the old-fashioned way. And then one thing that we want to do... We want to get furniture, and we want to build a table. I'm going to put it right here. And we're going to put some chairs. One here for each colonist, and we're going to go to recreation. We're going to go to shelves and build a wooden shelf right here. And then I'm going to go to its storage, clear all. We're just going to check raw food for the time being. So he'll put all the food on there. We're going to build a copy of this shelf. We'll put it right there. And then we're going to clear all of this, and we're going to put meals. That way the raw food will be on this shelf, the meals will be on this shelf. When our guy cooks, he'll take from this shelf, and when he finishes, he'll place the finished product on this other shelf. So and we're feeding this guy because he's so puny. And we're playing some horseshoes. We'll pause really quick so you can see. I'm going to go hover over shooting. And then we'll unpause, and you can see he's gaining a little bit of EXP every time he plays horseshoes. Yep. Back to cutting the rice. Yeah, so watch him build all this stuff. One thing that I want to do is have him prioritize working on these lights first, so that he'll have some... They work faster in the light. You get better results. We have a combat supplier from the White Ocean Settlement. There we go. So that's at least one light. The combat supplier is right here. Yeah, they're traveling in a caravan. They kind of had to slow down to reach the river. Let's see. Chung joined us. What is he good at? Nothing. Melee and shooting. He's good at mining, crafting, and art. But he's not very good at combat. However, he'll get better with time. Let's go trade with this guy and see what he's got to offer. First thing I want to do is get some normal medicine. He's got 13, so we'll just buy all that. Excuse me. We have a mace, a uranium mace already that we could give to Chung. This marine helmet's really good. One of the reasons I like starting as the rich explorer is you have 2,000 silver. So if you get a caravan trader early on with some cool stuff, you can just go ahead and buy it. This guy has some really cool stuff that we can get, like plasma swords. But what I really want is an assault rifle. And I want this marine helmet. So that's almost all of our money if we buy the medicine, the assault rifle, and the marine helmet. But we can get more money. We don't need to worry about it too much. The better thing is not passing up on a good thing when you have the chance to get it. So we'll buy all that stuff. It's laying on the ground somewhere. So we're going to prioritize hauling the medicine first. The marine helmet is right here. We want to prioritize hauling that. So, because things deteriorate when they're not in storage. You can see our guy's already putting it on. Prioritize hauling the assault rifle. Assault rifle is a pretty good weapon to give to... It would be good to give it to Chung. Chung doesn't have a hat, so he's going to go put on our old Devil Strand hat that we started with. It's pretty good quality, so maybe that'll help him be a little bit happier. Another thing I want to do is haul all these damn rocks out of what's going to be my dining room and my rec room. You can even make this a barracks for the time being. We'll probably do that so we can have our kitchen. Set up. Yeah. If you have any good recommendations on movies from the 70s, wild, far out stuff that I should watch, comment or drop them in the chat. Sort of the heyday, my prime movie watching time are the 80s. When I go back and look at the films that were released each year on like the years that I was born in the decade of the 80s, it's like they're all bangers. It's like so many classic films, so many great films, so many memorable blockbusters, some of the things that you probably have watched all your life or showed your kids if you're old enough to have them. A lot of great stuff was made in the 80s. We were spoiled for riches. So, probably my favorite movies of all time come from that time period. Just to give you a gauge, like... So I have some that are my favorites, but I recognize they're not among the best. Then there are some that I think are the best, right? So it's like, I like things like Gremlins and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. They're both great movies, but you might not consider them among like the best of all time. However, some of those greats that I watched, I do think are among the best of all time. One of them's Back to the Future, directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring, I wanted to call him Marty McFly. That's not his name. That's not his real name, though. Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown. The music by Alan Silvestri, musical score. It's fantastic. Like, it's got a great plot, a great story, great writing. They don't waste any time doing stupid shit that slows the story down or, you know, there's not a wasted second of dialogue. Everything fits, everything flows, everything works the way that you would want it to work in a movie. I'm just going to grow some cotton here. The climactic scene in Back to the Future is riveting. No matter how many times you watch it, you get into it, you feel the intensity of the stakes, everything that's been building up. So I would consider that among one of the best, like if we're ranking things. Back to the Future is in a contender for my top #1 spot. Ghostbusters is up there as well. Ghostbusters, huge influence on me as just as a person throughout my life. The movies were huge, but also the real Ghostbusters animated Saturday morning cartoon got like 6 seasons, so I watched it for quite a long time. Um, it's great comedy. It's another one of those things where not a second of the film is wasted, right? What is this? A wild smoke leaf plant. So that's kind of cool. Wild smoke leaf glows. It grows in the jungles now. It might make the jungle glow if you smoke it, but who knows for sure. Some other greats. Beetlejuice, the first Beetlejuice for its time, you know. Among some of the great films. It's like I evaluate a film by whether it's great or whether it's a classic, whereas no matter how many times you've seen it, if it's on, you'll watch it. If you watch it, it's good. You never get sick of it. It's never like, I've seen this too many times. It's like, it's so good, you'll pretty much sit down and pay attention to at least a minute of it anytime that it's on. One of those films that might fall into that category, you could say, is Shawshank Redemption. There's not a lot of broadcast TV. People don't watch a lot of broadcast TV or cable anymore, but back in the day, you just kind of had to watch what was on. And a lot of times on the weekends, on the Saturday or Sunday matinees or movies where they would just show something to fill time, they'd put on Shawshank Redemption. Like almost every weekend you could find the Shawshank Redemption playing on some channel. It might be the best Stephen King related film ever put out. It's based on Stephen King's works. Either a short story by him or a novel or something like that. I think it was maybe a short story because I can't remember a novel ever coming out. The Shawshank Redemption, it would have been one of the biggest novels of all time if we were still thinking and talking about it like that. We've got a torrential rain event. It's okay. It'll rain a whole lot. People will get sick of being wet, and it'll cause, like you can see here, the river to expand, which we might have already had it expanding because of some kind of seasonal flooding event that I think that we got earlier. So we have a dining room. We're sleeping in the cooler right now. We're going to want to reinstall these beds for the time being into our rec room and build some end tables. We can use it all kind of as one space for now. Chung, I'm going to let him eat, and then I'm going to have him go equip this assault rifle. A wanderer is offering to join Meadows. He's willing to contribute, but he won't leave voluntarily. This is a crapshoot because he might have some horrible flaws. He might be a different religion. If he's the same religion as this guy, they'll start to outnumber us, but right now we need colonists, so we're going to accept. Meadows is a male, age 39. He has a different religion than both of us. His background is a frightened child. He's greedy. That's a bad trait. That means he'll get jealous if somebody has a nicer bedroom than him, and he'll get a mood debuff for it. And he's incapable of violence. Okay, so that's what I mean by a crapshoot. Like, we don't really want people that are incapable of violence, because they can't fight. Whenever all the fucking raids start, they won't pick up a weapon and fight. They're incapable of it. He's good at crafting and intellectual and medical. So we're just going to keep him based on that, because Chung is not good at medical. He has a 0, and I've only got a 4, and this guy has got a 5 with a passion in it, so he'll learn faster. So it's good to have a doctor like that. Even though he's got some flaws, we're going to keep him around. He's not too bad. We want to build a copy of his bed right here. That way he'll have a place to sleep. And now that we have the beds out of the cooler, we're going to go to the cooler. You can see it's set to 70 target temperature. I'm going to hit -18 until it gets down to 34, and that'll keep our food refrigerated. Let's make sure the doggy is not still sleeping in the freezer. We'll put her sleeping spot right there. Yep. Oh, let's I didn't actually set it. We'll reassign her and we'll delete this old one. The classics are great. I return to them again and again, but I would really rather find some new things that I haven't seen before, even if they're old, and just kind of get into that. And cult classics, see, we don't have enough chairs for these guys. So we're going to build another chair on each side. Chung is fortunately